So even when, like, cause we can say things to each other that people normally can't say to each other. Like, we can ask each other questions that people normally can't ask each other, right? Hey, yo, bro.
Yo.
But you would say we love each other, right?
That's a fact.
Do you fully understand that when we was younger, like, we was friends on phony shit, baby? We was friends basically because we both down to do, and you definitely my friend because I feel like you down to do anything. You get like, nigga, like, this nigga, whatever, that's the base of our friendship, my nigga, is, did you
what? Yo, I'm mad you put it like that. Yo, what?
Nah, though, but that's a fact.
Yeah. Yo, that falls to when, like I say, like, when you realize now, like, I just couldn't be around certain people because I understand, like, they don't bring nothing to my situation. Like, yo, you couldn't even help me to propel. And that's when you realize, like, yo, you was around a lot of niggas, but just out there for the out there. That statement.
And I had the mechanics. But also, the other thing that I had was, you remember shit like this? On nights where, because this situation was, he come from a home where it's a home. Like, his mom's got rules, and there was times when that nigga was outside. Every time when he tried to go home. But think about the life he trying to live. He trying to, like, I ain't got no real parental guidance. I ain't never have to really be in the house. So, like, I'm talking about, like, I'm not, at 11 years old, my mom told me my curfew was 11:30. Right? Yeah. Just because I felt like she had to tell me a time to come in. Right? So, as I got, now when I'm 13, I'm barely living in the house. I be over at my girlfriend's house. Yo, it was a time when I look at all the dudes that I was out there hustling with, and I'll be like, all these niggas go home to their mom's crib, except for me. I'm going to Liz's house.
Yo, I be saying that shit now, because, you know, like, shit we didn't pay attention to back then, like, talking, I'll be like, damn, I didn't even think of
But when I said that just now, you like, oh, shit, I remember nigga Gully used to go over there, like, he be late, nigga, but I'm going to go, like, I didn't live at home, I just didn't.
Yo, I'm thinking of everybody we was around, like you said, that was a fact, like, I don't know one other who didn't. In our age group, it was just me. Everybody else was older. It was the older dudes that might go, like. But do you remember the times when you might have to be out there on that block all night, and I'll just come out of nowhere like, I'll be out here with you. Let's go. Yo, you know what's funny? That's what I'll be telling people. That's why I'm bond tight, because of that type shit. I always remember shit like that, like, we just out here, my nigga, like, yo.
You remember that night? I don't know why we left. Albemarle. We was going to TA, but yo, you remember we was out there the night that cousin Jay got killed. You remember that we just spot like it just on that actual night.
Yeah, right up there. I remember the nigga running down the hill and all.
Yeah, that was a wild night. Yeah. We just ended up over there. We was like, hey, bro. So like, yo, that's crazy. Yeah, right. But
it was like 2 nights in a row. Then they found another body.
Up 77 Hill, but and son out of jail. Yeah, I was locked up with son. He out of jail. Yeah, he beat that. He beat that case. 100% Jehovah Witness. 100% Jehovah Witness. One of the most violent motherfuckers that I know. Out his mind. That's the only thing that saved him, though.
You know, it's crazy, huh? You just said that. That's the only
that's it. Look, but he was so crazy that took him back the other way. But I think that him getting out, you know what I'm saying? Because he had 25 to life. So him getting out, him getting around that case was like, oh, snap. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, he had shot K1, threw him in the garbage up 77 Hill. That was a crazy situation. Yeah, yo, bro. But, so even during that time, like, I had the mechanics. I was on it. But I just didn't know how to think. So I'm that same person now. I just know how to think. It's not all impulsive. It's not all just, you see what I'm saying? I'm still the same exact person. Like, oh, you got to be out here all night? Shit. Well, I got to be with you. I'm still that same person.
This in a positive light.
Yeah, I don't pick and choose. I don't pick and choose who get it. That's the shit that person I told you. Person said to me the other day on the phone, "Yo, you pick and choose," and I was highly offended. I said, "Well, tell me what I pick and choose on." She said, "You pick and choose who you forgive." I said, "Put a name on it." I think where we using the word forgiveness is wrong. Like, I don't think forgiveness. I don't think forgiveness is even that really it should even really be an important thing. I don't think it should even really be something you think about. I think that the reason we look at forgiveness as being a big thing is because somehow it got wrapped up in the whole God thing when we think about it, right? But I think that sometimes people make mistakes. Now, a mistake, for what a mistake is you might not have been aware, right? And for things like that, man, I mean, we can get past that pretty easily, I think.
Yeah.
But the things where people think they should be forgiven for, these are not mistakes. You doing some whack. So it's not like, so forgiving is not important. I need you to learn something and change your ways. You need to grow. This is not an area for forgiveness. We not at...
Growth, exactly. Yeah, you got to grow. That's all.
So there's not a person that I don't forgive in the world. I handle every single person the same way.
Or like you said, like a motherfucker, like it's life. Like, because I can deal with you, because I can still operate, like that don't necessarily mean forgiveness is there. Like, it is what it is. Yeah.
Yo. In the same person, right? Well, look, this is crazy, right? We talking about a conversation about person dying and leaving people money. The person said to me, I mean, the only person that'll probably like that'll look out, that'll do what they supposed to do is probably you. I said, that's kind of like, there's nobody who's gonna be around me for a long period of time. For real, there's nobody gonna be around me for a long period of time, right? And not recognize that. But the reason that person talk about the forgiveness is because that person feels the guilt. So this is why you can't get to a comfortable state, right? To feel like you forgive is because you have to grow to get past your guilt. And then you'll be like, that shit, ain't nobody was thinking about it but me. That's what they call your conscience eating you.
Yo, that's what I say. Yo, growth is important. I swear I was just talking about that. Was that early? That was earlier today. I was also talking about that. Like, motherfuckers just don't be growing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like you say, what was it earlier? It's the, not the norms, but the things we have in our
non-traditional.
But the traditional ways will have people thinking differently of themselves. Like, no, you just part of the flock, man.
You just part of the flock.
Yeah.
That's why I love to go against the grain or whatever everybody else is doing. Sometimes, even when I feel the other side, because, and the reason I want to do that is because I be just wanting to show a person it's simply okay to do. Because, like, even in that joint, man, I really want to get into some of this thing with Joe Rogan with Homie, because when Homie was talking about the information they got and how we set up with corporations and the way it is, and how, like, sometimes we don't get progression because information don't get passed. Like, say, for instance, that we did have our hands on some technology that's non-human, right? But in some of these places, the person that's working right next to you is working on something that they can't tell you, and you working on something that you can't tell them, and you got this clearance, and this is why, and we can't get enough people to come together to work on this, right?
Even for the sake of the company.
For the sake of progress, period. So let me run something by y'all right here, right? 'Cause it's a perfect example. Cause somebody was kind of like, I kind of got into like a back and forth with somebody about this, and I was like saying like, you have to do things like that. This is why it's not good to be like, oh, I'm just black or I'm this. So after World War II was some of the Nazi scientists who were some of the smartest people on the planet. Some of the most accomplished people on the planet, right? Because there was a time previous to this, correct? So it wasn't like where was Albert Einstein learning that? Would you America? No, he's from Germany, right? So Austria, right? So that same thing. So a lot of the culture, come on, you see what I'm saying? So, and you gotta so a lot of those scientists, right, that was over there doing some heinous things. America scooped them up. Hey, we want y'all to work on some stuff over here, man. We want y'all to help us figure this out. Mm-hmm. Now, what I'm saying is, yes, it's value to certain things. So, even when we hear about, particular people in power that don't get punished, I'll be like, yo, they can't punish them. Like, no, this company, this CEO embezzled all this money. Well, look around you. You know 20,000 people. Out of all them 20,000 people, you feel like, you see him, all these people you done met in your life. How many of them built up a corporation like that before?
How many people?
We don't need to kill that drive, mind, tenacity. We can't kill that off.
Yo, they don't even do it in the government. Listen, they might find them, but you allowed to keep going. Just don't do the bull.
Yeah, because at the same time, okay, yeah, yo, y'all giving them money and bailing them out. How many people work for this company? So wait, who's going to employ the 47,000 people here?
No, they are stimulating the economy. Listen, these niggas is...
So yeah, they gave them some money. They gave them some money and they ain't break the people off. They bought a little few extra yachts and planes and kept it going. Get right?
Listen, if you move in a country GDP, you should be able to have some
and I'm poor, ain't got nothing. This whole thing can end for me homeless, and cause like a lot of the other males in my family, my dads, my uncles, all of them homeless, and fuck. This is how it very well could end, but I still can see that. I get it. When they talk about cutting off Social Security and all this, I understand and I get it. Right? Because check it. Say for instance tell me how many people you think this would happen to. Say for instance that somebody gave somebody a code to an ATM that they could go to anytime they want and withdraw money from. How many people will begin withdrawing money with the thought that at one point this thing might not spit something else out?
Oh, nah. That they gotta come one day and that thing just ain't got nothing for that reality thinking.
Then you got the next step to it. Some people might kick it, break it. They might run down on the person that gave them the code furious. Blame everything in their life on that person.
I mean, I only got 100,000 out of here. You told me this shit was unlimited.
I never told you this was unlimited, sir. You see what I'm saying? So look, and then when we learn history and we learn about cultures and societies and the ebbs and flows and the roller coasters of life, it'd be like, hey man, how long might we expect free to be free? Yeah. So if you get a chance, take advantage of and try to, and this is why you can't kill off the great ones, the thinkers, the ideas, because you might just be left with the workers with nobody to put the workers to work. So right now, somebody who religious might say, idle time is the devil's time or something like that. Devilish things might happen, right? Some people might look at the way it is in the hood as being devilish. Unfortunately, even somebody from the hood get a little bit of money, they don't do what they supposed to do because they just not financially literate.
Uh-huh.
Or because they don't really have the skills or capacity to build something. They had a talent. And then they had to surround themselves with the skills and the talent and to do other shit.
That's why they say even with it's a high percentage of lottery winners that go broke.
So a lot of idle time is somewhere where motherfuckers ain't got that A lot of gang banging and shooting and a lot of fucking going around in a circle. To get out that circle, you need to know how to think. You need to be able to slow down.
Yo, that's a fact. Because, yo, when I think of all the motherfuckers that'll never get out and still trapped, the one thing that I understand keep them there is they mind.
They mind.
It's the mind. But yeah, like, they just stuck there because of the way they think. Like, yo, I couldn't even get a nigga to think like this. Yeah, it's not going to work. They tell you a mind is what is it? A
terrible thing to waste? Yeah. Because it created everything. So, like, when I see I get inspired when I see other people talking about it. So, when you was talking about that, I think, yo, bro, one of these days, we're going to get into this, and I want to run a Dire Wolf joint by y'all. And there was another joint. Dude said something. Had making, I'm like, man, kid, come here with this dude running around where he had gave his kids it as a present, too, so. But he was on Joe Rogan maybe like last week and talk about how he came up. And but he had like a bunch of index cards and stuff. So I always be on the stream. I be like, yo, y'all see I be writing stuff down all day. I got a million things. I want to lift this whole thing up and show I got this stuff taped down here. Every day, consistent writing, just on that. Like, I'm always, but like, how important the idea is. But I knew about him already, right? Because he had kids or whatever, and he built this up, and he was really into it, and he's successful. So, he asked him, like, so when you get your kids, though, the index card, he was like, nah, they was excited. They know what they for, they know what they do. They know how powerful they is. Now, I could take the same index cards and show a person, and they'll think I'm crazy, and guess what, though? The index cards really do have value. The index cards are worth, those index cards are worth hundreds of thousands of dollars in real life. Not in fake, not in mystical, because somebody is going to take those and make the money.
It's like you say he's doing.
Like they did with everything else. It's from an idea. So in our community, the idea is not important because the idea is not immediate gratification. And the reason we need immediate gratification at this point in where black people is at is because we think more on a childish level. So when shit is going wrong for a child, what does a child do?
Just wish for stuff.
Yeah, they can't fight. They don't have the fight. So now, like, as we could be struggling and just turning and start fighting on each other and trying to eat on each other or just complaining and not really going for what we know we need.
Yeah.
So it's more like of a frustration and a.
Yeah.
And if you start to give one kid more toys than the other, if you give all the kids the same toys, oh, you might have some trouble on your hands.
Trust me, I know.
So I always try to push to people like how important thinking is, the mind. Even in a way where like I wasn't even gonna stream it. I didn't have anything, but this why I said let me call a bro because I know if I speak to the bro, I have like and I don't got no too much topics because like a lot of times when I'm giving up these hip hop topics and all that, I want to get into the meat and the gravy of it, but the meat and the gravy of it don't seem to be the thing that excites my community too much. Like I want to go into the mental health of it. Like if we really talk about Lil Durk, I want to get to talking about like how many of us would be Durk if we was in his situation.
What?
And we could look at that and we could get to 7 in multiple ways. It ain't just 2 + 5, right? Sometimes a person could get a lawsuit and don't commit no crime and end up being Durk. They can give you just as much money as Durk had off his rap career in a lawsuit. You could not hire nobody. You you could squander it all away and take your peoples down deeper than where they was before. You can add extra expenses and then take away the ability or the opportunity to take care of the extra expenses. You can do, and you can crumble.
They can't afford that house no more. Now they homeless.
A little more insight into that kind of thinking and putting it together. Because 9 times out of 10, like when I'm talking about, I'll just start to connect it because I want people to see themselves in it all. I want you to see the Dirk in you, or I want you to see the Elon Musk in you. That's just the kind of person I am. I want you to see that, hey, yo, bro, you can do it all. If you a regular human like I'm a regular human, you can do exactly what homie did. You just got to learn how to do it. You just got to be trained in the ways how to do it. And believe it or not, the mind is so powerful that you could do it for yourself tomorrow. You could just be like, okay, I'm going to do this tomorrow and really do it.
Yeah.
Some people might think I'm crazy as hell.